Although he was a little late to the party, Crash Bandicoot made quite an entrance. He hoped to balance out the PlayStation's early lineup, giving Sony a platforming hero that could go up against the likes of Mario and Sonic. With Crash Team Rumble coming out this year and all this nostalgia for the earlier entries, it made me wonder, what did Electronic Gaming Monthly think of this series? What's their favorite Crash game? Now, in case you're wondering, EGM reviewed a total of 12 games in the Crash Bandicoot series between 1996 and 2008. This includes pretty much everything from the main franchise, the racing games, the portable spin-offs, and even the party packs. Unfortunately, they did miss out on both Crash of the Titans in 2007 and Crash Mind Over Mutant in 2008. Thankfully, they covered pretty much everything else. What we're gonna do today is count down the best and worst Crash Bandicoot games using Electronic Gaming Monthly's own words and scores. There's no editorializing here, we're just gonna focus on what the critics said back when these games first came out. And I cannot stress that point enough. You'll definitely see what I mean. So, get ready to get dizzy collecting all that wumpa fruit, because today we're counting down Electronic Gaming Monthly's top 12 Crash Bandicoot games.
Hey, plumber boy, mustache man, your worst nightmare has arrived.
Pack up your stuff. I got a little surprise for you here. Check it out. What do you think about that? We got real time, 3D, lush organic environments. How's that make you feel, buddy? Feel a little like your days are numbered?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
You're hurting my elbow.
Is that Italian?
No, Bandicoot is an Australian name.
Up first, at number 12, we have Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex on PlayStation 2. The tunnel chase gameplay in Wrath of Cortex wears thin very quickly, and I especially despise levels in any game where you're running away from something towards the camera. If you're supposed to be playing as the character, how come you're not looking at the path ahead of you? I have to admit, the Wrath of Cortex has a few fun bits, namely levels where Crash is in a hamster ball, but it can't completely tear itself from the frustrating shackles of the limited perspective, one-hit kills, and the silly amount of pits you fall into. If I see another unavoidable stack of Nitro boxes, I'm gonna break something. In my opinion, Crash Team Racing is the only good game in this series. Number 11. Crash Tag Team Racing on the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. If you press a button during the load screen, the game will belch and/or fart. This clued me into the fact that Crash is meant to be a baby game. So I asked my inner 8-year-old what she thought of the game. She rolled her eyes and said it sucks, and then went to play Burnout Revenge. What they've done is mash together a platform coin-collecting game with a plotting kart combat game, and then grafted on some escape from a cell phone mini-games. It's a Frankensteinian mess. Even a really dumb youngling wouldn't enjoy the repeated cycle of racing, chatting, and fetching. Despite popular opinion, most kids have an attention span that lasts longer than a soundbite. Well, not when you offer them nonsense like this. Number 10, Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex on Xbox. When I loaded up Wrath of Cortex for Xbox, I thought back to the memorable time I had with the PlayStation 2 version. The long load times, lackluster graphics, and been there, done that gameplay. Thankfully, two of the issues have been fixed on Xbox. The inexcusable load times are gone, and the graphics have been given an extra layer of polish. Crash now has fur, and the improved lighting and water effects give his coat extra shine. I'll be the first to admit that this is the best that Crash has ever looked. But, save for a few additions to Wrath of Cortex, like some cool hamster ball levels, it's almost identical to its predecessor. Other platform games like Sonic and Mario have evolved over time. Why can't Crash? At this point in his illustrious career, the Bandicoot needs to go in a completely different direction or be put to sleep for good. Number 9, Crash Nitro Kart on PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. The unflavored yogurt of the kart racing set, Crash Nitro Kart, has its heart in the right place. Sadly, that heart is stillborn. Powered by the charismatic Crash Bandicoot and featuring a solid multiplayer mode, Crash Nitro Kart takes few chances. It's as generic in look as it is in feel. Crash Nitro Kart offers standard weapons, predictably themed tracks with lots of jumps but few hairpin turns to challenge drivers, and a toned-down difficulty level to keep frustrating losses to a minimum. Oh, and what's with the lamest unlock ever? The ability to rewatch cutscenes. Number 8, Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure on Game Boy Advance. Back on the PlayStation, this marsupial ran the show, but now that he's showing up on a console with games like Super Mario Advance 2 and Sonic, his mediocrity crashes the party. By combining boring gameplay, derivative level designs, and a remarkably short quest, Vicarious Visions has transformed Crash into just another ho-hum platformer. Even Crash's trademark graphical splendor has been toned down to merely average. The occasional pseudo 3D stages look hot, but the side-scrolling sections are nothing special. Also, any game that heaps on extra lives to balance out the endless one-hit deaths becomes quickly tiresome. You can do better. Number 7, Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex on GameCube. Nobody's more burnt out on Crash than this chica. So, imagine my groan delight when the bippity-boppity intro music fires up on the TV. As I nestled my rump comfortably into the sofa in preparation for the notoriously long load times, I asked myself, why am I doing this? But even before the first snore of the evening bore itself from my nostril, level 1 was ready. Ha! Perhaps Traveler's Tales finally got load times right. We'll see about that. This stubborn girl wasn't convinced yet, even as she discovered just how much more forgiving Crash was on the GameCube. Not only did I not have the desire to smash the disc into a zillion pieces, I actually found the game to be somewhat enjoyable. Yes, Wrath on the GameCube is more polished here than on the PlayStation 2, but some things never change. Despite some clever approaches to the level design, it still lacks any real innovation to its simple platform roots, making it an ideal candidate for little kids. But with Super Mario Sunshine out now, it's tough to recommend this game to any age group.
Step through, sir.
That's odd.
Empty out your pockets. Are you wearing a watch?
Oh, for goodness sake. Every time I come here.
After a short vacation, Crash is back. And this time, he's ready for just about anything.
I am not comfortable with this. Whoa! Hello!
PlayStation.
And we're back with number 6, Crash Bash on the PlayStation. Crash Bash doesn't have the firepower to pose a serious threat to Mario Party, but it's not a total loss either. Some of the mini-games are forced and a bit awkward to control, partly due to the clunky graphics and also the design. Most involved one objective, the way it should be, but an excessive amount of power-ups and general chaos makes it tough to concentrate on the task at hand. Still, others like the 4-way variation on Pong are great. These particular contests keep the action clean and simple and aren't muddied by too much commotion. Overall, Crash Bash isn't a bad multiplayer game, but a one-night rental may be all you need to get your fill. Number 5, Crash Bandicoot 2 N-Tranced on Game Boy Advance. Like most Game Boy Advance editions of an established console franchise, Crash 2 only attempts to recreate the popular formula of its bigger brother. And in many respects, it succeeds. This wee Bandicoot has all the moves you'd expect, plus a few more that you learn along the way, with great animation and decent control throughout. Other modes mix things up, but don't fare so well. Odd physics make some monkey ball style levels more tedious, and the 3D stages with Coco flying through space are sloppy. Other disappointments include a lack of variety in the side-scrolling levels, tacked on multiplayer, and an overall short and easy quest. Then again, plenty of hard-to-find secrets await, and this is a Game Boy Advance game after all. Younger gamers won't be disappointed. Number 4, Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation. Crash Bandicoot is an excellent all-around title. It has it all. Lots of levels, great animation, variety, and most importantly, fun. The game borrows a lot from many titles in the past, like Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario, and Taz. Crash takes the best elements of all of these. The levels change all the time, so one minute you're playing a side-scroller and the next a forward-scroller. The enemies were a bit easy to kill for the most part, since you can just spin your way through them. My biggest gripe is Crash's handling. His jumps are too slow and inaccurate. You might find yourself missing a narrow platform once in a while. Number 3, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back on the PlayStation. I'm always hearing around the office, I didn't like the first game, but Crash 2 is awesome. I don't get it. To me, Crash 2 is fundamentally the same as the original. Not to say that that's bad, however, I liked the first one a lot. A few cool extras are in the sequel, namely the vehicles, new bosses, great full motion videos, and better level designs, although some sections are repetitive. Crash 2 is a great piece of work, but it's not exactly a brand new playing experience. Number 2, Crash Bandicoot Warped on PlayStation. I don't know what else to say. Crash Warped is awesome. The first Crash was okay, and Crash 2 was excellent, but Warped is easily the best of the bunch. The gameplay has been pushed to near perfection, and the graphics are incredible. The new, free-roaming levels are very well done, and the game has the same kooky atmosphere that made the first 2 games so enjoyable. It's classic platform action, but it's done right. And finally, at number 1, CTR Crash Team Racing on the PlayStation. Is Crash Team Racing an unabashed Mario Kart copycat? Yes. Is that a bad thing? Heck no. Actually, CTR swipes the best tricks from the original Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, and Diddy Kong Racing. Where else are you going to find that kind of fun on the PlayStation? The control is perfect, allowing for lots of finesse. Most tracks are superbly designed. If you spend hours with friends playing Mario Kart, then this is your new addiction.
I'm not going to tell you again, put the suit on.
I'm not going to listen again because I'm not going to wear it.
Look, it's going to stretch. Put the suit on.
Are these legal? Can I use these? Clear a path.
Coming through.
Cannonball.
Knock it off.
Snake, snake. Stay away from this area. I'll fight it off. I liked you better with a mustache.
He's training for his biggest adventure yet. Oh yeah, he's ready.
Coach, there's some shrinkage.
PlayStation.
Hey, thanks for watching me look at these classic Crash Bandicoot reviews. If you like this kind of thing, then you should know that we have a whole playlist with dozens of these EGM Ranks episodes, including Mario, Sonic, Bonk, Bubsy the Bobcat, Batman, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ninja Gaiden, Road Rash, Burnout, The Simpsons, and so many more. Now, here's the question I have for you. What's your favorite Crash Bandicoot game? Are you a fan of the old school games, or do you prefer the racing titles, or are you somebody that's really into the party games? Hey, don't look at me like that. I'm sure there's somebody out there that loves Crash Bash. Can't wait to see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back later this week with more reviews and a Nintendo Switch Online Review Crew episode. While you wait for that, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,